Greetings, everyone. Hare Krishna from, where are we? Srila Mayapur. And we're at Go-druma, Bhavan. And it is 24th of January. Imagine. And some devotees are here in the live audience, as they say in American television. So nice to see you all. Welcome, welcome. Huh. Let us begin. What do you say? Should we begin? Yes, we should begin. Okay. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuttaparakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Hitangscha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhaktivedanta Swami Itinami Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Vancha Kalpatrubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we can go right into our reading and then singing of Chaitanya Mangala, which this time, you may be happy to know, I did some advanced homework. What does that mean? That means I looked up some of the words instead of speculating about them. I looked up some of the Bangla words And yes, we can see some of them are interesting. Okay, we got up to, I forget which, this is chapter 2. Bali Alila. Yes, chapter 2 it's called. And this covers Lord Chaitanya's ages 1 to 5. And mainly it's been admiration of just how wonderful this little baby is. Shane Kande, Shane Hase, I should say Kane Kande, Kane Hase, Kane Koti Kore, Kane Kole, Kane Dole, Hiyar Upore. One moment he laughed, another moment he cried, another moment he wanted something, another moment he sat on Shachi's lap, another moment he rode on a swing. Sounds like what babies do, basically. Okay, now I'll just make it a little smaller and then we can share it. Add this here and we go there and click share. And there we have it. Okay. Except that I want to, how to do this? That's not going to work. Oh, I'll just have to move this out of the way. I put it on that side. Okay. I think that'll work. All right, here we go. Kane pita mata. This is verse 17 of chapter 2. Kane pita mata koro anguli dhariya otira sharir pare pottadui hanya. One moment, holding his mother's and father's hands, he took 2 unsteady steps and then fell. So we have again this word shane, in a moment, and then pita mata, koro anguli. Kora is the hand, and anguli means a finger. So it could be either, okay, anguli dariya. So small child can't hold the whole hand, right? He'll just hold maybe one finger of the hand. So, Haribol, welcome. So, anguli dariya, having held on, anguli to the finger, atir sharira pare, patadui hanya. So, this atira would be the Bengali for astira. Stira would mean, welcome. Stira would mean steady, and astira would mean unsteady in Sanskrit. But then this is Bengali, so the S disappears to make it atira. And sharira, of course, means body. Pade, fell, I think. Hotta dui haya. So I looked up this haya, and yeah, it can mean going, and it can also mean coming. or it can mean returning. So going with his two steps, pata, I think is like steps. So he goes for a couple of steps, but he's very unsteady, so bloop, he falls down, like small children learning to walk. Typical, right? And then verse 18, abekoto adho adho loh, lohu lohu bole. Lohu lohu bole. Chander sayare jena omiya uttale. He made a child's experiment in a few half-spoken syllables. His broken words were like nectar waves in an ocean agitated by the moon's rising. Okay, so I looked up some words. Adha is from Sanskrit ardha, which means half. And then it gives an example in the dictionary. This says adho, what is it? Yes, adho, bin. Now, I don't know, this bin is abbreviation of something, maybe vinaya, behavior, but I really don't know. Asampurna. So maybe I should open this and then I can point. Asampurna. So not complete. So half something, not complete. And then aparisputa, whatever that is. And then again, adho, bhava. So the mood or the condition of being half and half. And then adho, buli. Speaking, I think, half. So it's very much what's going on here. He's trying to speak, but he's just getting sort of half words. And then is repeated this lohu boli. And I looked up lahu, and it says it's obsolete and it's poetic, and it means mild or gentle. And again, it gives as an example lahu hasa. So gently or mildly laughing. And Chander Sayare Jeno Amiya Uttale. We've had this word Amiya a few times. So Amiya is Amrita Tulya, which means equal to nectar. Ati Madhura, extremely sweet. And the example is Amiya Vani, very sweet speech. So it's appropriate, the example, to what we're reading. His broken words, adha, were like nectar waves. And I thought I looked it up. Sayare, I think, is, I forget now, ocean. Yeah. And Chander Sayare, Sagara. So when the moon rises, what does it do? It changes the tide. The tide comes in. Or does it go out when the moon rises? Anyway, something happens and the ocean is kind of stirred up. And that is very nectarian. Broken words were like nectar waves. Uttale, means that which arises. So I think that can refer to the waves. So sweet nectar waves in the ocean of the moon, Chandera Sayana. Okay. Then e mote dine dine angina vedaya kuchila vividhatapa jogata judaya. Day after day, he walked in the courtyard. So apparently now he's learned to walk. To the world, he brought a soothing coolness. He destroyed the world's feverish suffering. So e mate, in this way, dine dine, day after day, angina, I think is with his limbs, with his body, bedai, having walked, bedaya, having walked. Oops, what happened? Uh-oh. How did that happen? Just disappeared. Oh. Oh, it's creating another one. I don't want another one. Okay. Yeah, then gucha, we have here guchila, which is the past tense of gucha, or it can also be gocha, to be destroyed or lost, to cease to exist. So guchila, what has been destroyed? Vividha tapa. Vividha means various, and tapa means heat or suffering, miseries. So he destroys various miseries. Jagata Judai. And Judai means satisfied. The world, the Jagat, becomes satisfied. Just by little Nimai walking around in the courtyard. Okay, then. Lucky me. Lalita Poda Dharanir Kole Premete Prithvi Devi Apona Pasare. His feet, worshipped by goddess Lakshmi, now rest in the earth's lap. Filled with love, the earth goddess now forgets herself. So here we found, because so this lucky me is, of course, Lakshmi, and I think it's an example of this kind of stretching out of a word in order to get an additional syllable. Lakshmi lalita padadara nira kole. So in order to get the rhythm. And then lalita, of course, there's the dear friend and intimate associate of Srimati Radharani, Lalita. I believe it's short A, Lalita, with a long second A. Here it's Lalita. And Lalita it says here, the explanation, Lalana Kara Hoyeche Amon Pratipalita Poshita. So poshita means nourished. It's a past passive participle. So nourished or pratipalita, or protected, prati, in all respects, fully protected. So the translation here says, worshipped by goddess. His feet are worshipped. I don't know, one could take it that his feet are protected by Lakshmi. Possibly, yeah. Because if we think about how Lakshmi sits at the feet of Vishnu and massages his feet, we might then understand in that way that she's also protecting his feet. Dharanir Kole. So Dharani is the earth, and of the earth, Dharanir, and Kole is on the lap. Mridanga is sometimes called kol in Bengal. That which is played by putting it on the lap. Premete pritivi devi apona pasare. So premete, in prema, pritivi, the earth. So there's Dharani and there's pritivi, devi. Apana pasare. Apana is the reflexive, herself. And pasare is forgetting. So then, 21. Gogone akola chanda bhume dasha chanda kiraner tejese anki paila andho. In the sky, one moon shines, but on the earth, 10 moons now shine. Because of their light, even the blind now have eyes. So gogane means in the sky, which may have something to do with the sound of thunder. I'm not sure. Ekala is one, singular. Chanda, there's one moon in the sky. Bhume, on the earth, dasha chanda, there are 10 moons. Dasha chanda. Kiraner teje, she anki paila andha. So the andha, those who are blind, anki paila, have obtained eyes. They've obtained sight. Kiraner teje se, from the tejas, from the brilliance, kirana, of the rays from these 10 moons. In the next verse, we'll find out what the 10 moons are. It says, Kiraner teje se, and this se a little bit surprises me. It seems to me like the Hindi se, as in coming from something, which I think would be otherwise in Bengali, but then there it is. And I don't think it's se as in this, but then maybe it is. Okay. 22. Arudasha chanda karo angulira age pataki dakilehya andiyara bhage. These 10 moons are the tips of the fingers of Lord Gora. Arudasha chanda kara angulir age. Age is in the front, or the ends of the angulis, of the fingers of the hand, kara. And dasha chando. And then ara is, I think, just to sort of connect to the previous verse. And and moreover, something like that. Pataki dekile hiya andiyar bhage. Seeing these, even the innocent. Now, this translation I find strange. Even the innocent and innocent sinner has become fortunate. I don't know where he's getting the word innocent. Pataki just means sinner, one who has sinned, as far as I know. Dakile, having seen. Hiya, the heart, or maybe with the heart. Andiyar bhage, um, uh, the darkness has gone away. Let's see. Yeah, bhage means runs away. So andiyar bhage, the darkness of, it seems like a possessive, maybe the darkness of the heart. Yeah. The darkness of the heart runs away by seeing, tekile, when the Pataki sees these 10 moons. Huh. Then 23, Shrimukha Chanda Koto Koti Chander Raja Buru Kamadhanu Diya Kama Koila Puja. Of how many millions of moons is Lord Gora's face moon the king? Offering them his bow, Kamadeva worships Lord Gora's eyebrows. This is so poetic, isn't it? So the question word is koto, how many? Koto koti chande raja. Raja means king, the king of moons. How many moons? Koti. Koti is technically 10 million. So 10 million. It can also just mean a very much lot. But yeah, if we take it as 10 million, that's a lot. And Srimukha Chanda, the face moon, yeah, the beautiful face moon or the blessed face moon of Lord of Nimai. So it's a rhetorical question. How many moons is this face moon the king? Buru Kamadanu Diya. So having given Diya, the bow, Danu, of Kama, Kama Koila Puja. Kamadeva, Kama, Koila did puja. He did puja to what? Buru, to the eyebrows. So in other words, the eyebrows of little Nimai were so charming. And you could say it means that Kamadev has given his bow. The bow is compared to eyebrows, the bending bow. So sometimes that comparison is made. Okay, and we'll do one more. Ki kohibo arotaro karuna chandrima ontare timira karte nahi kore kama. What more can I say? The moon of Lord Gora's mercy cuts the darkness in the heart into pieces. That darkness has no power to resist. So again, a rhetorical question. Ki kahibo. What will I say? That's future tense, kahibo. Aratar. What will I say more? Aru. Tara Karana Chandrima, of the moon of Lord Gora's mercy. Tara is of him. Then Antare Timira, the darkness within. Kate, cutting, cutting the darkness within. Nahi kore kshama. There is no, here I think kshama means, well, it's translated resist, can mean tolerant, tolerate, tolerance. So I think the point is the darkness, the timida, it has to leave because it cannot tolerate this karuna chandrima, this moon, this mercy moon. So this is very nice. So it's very poetic. There's so much rich poetry there. Okay, shall we try to sing this? We can try. I have to. Okay. Okay, first we have to stop briefly sharing so that we can change the audio. To original sound for musicians. And then go back. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I should make it a bit bigger. We have our band ready. Put this here. Jai Srila Lokchandas Thakur ki jai, Shri Nimai Pandit ki jai, who is not yet exhibiting his panditry. called. Okay, good. So then, again, welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us in Sridham Mayapur. Imagine you're now all here in Sridham Mayapur. Why not? We can imagine sometimes. Okay. Now, there was a request after our last meeting from Soumya Karani as a translator. Today she's not translating, but she said translating is actually a very, well, it's actually interpreting. In English, it's called interpreting when you're doing live speaking, translating. That it's actually quite exhausting, takes total attention, and the standard, what did she say? The standard time for an interpreter is half an hour, I think. So she was requesting that we maybe don't spend so much time with our Bengali to get to what else we're talking. And specifically, she suggested now that we're doing this little introduction to Sanskrit pronunciation, that we go immediately into this before anything else. So, with all of your blessings, we will do like that. And to do that, I'm going to share the screen again. First, where are we? There's this and there's that. Let's go to this. Okay. And maybe a little larger. Okay, then we'll go back here to share. I better turn this on to check. Yeah, then share. Okay, here we go. Ready, set, go. So last Saturday, we went through the Sanskrit alphabet. We call it alphabet in English. And I thought to look briefly again at that this time from within. We have a nice PDF file of the Harinamamrita Vyakarana of Srila Jiva Goswami that has been published by devotees in 2 large volumes. And I thought you might like to see some of the beginning of it, especially the first sutra. The entire work is, well, there's a shorter version, a medium version, and a longer version of the Harinama Amrita Vyakaran. And I don't remember how many, but it's several hundred, if not more than 1,000. I think this is the medium version. In any case, it's all sutras. And this is the first sutra. Narayanat Udbhuto Yang Varna Kramaha. And that means this series of varnas, that is to say, the Sanskrit alphabet, appeared from Narayana. Narayanat means from Narayana. Udbhuta, appeared. Ayam, this Varna Krama, this series of phonemes. That's a kind of technical English word. I guess it comes from Greek for sounds. Yeah, and then after that, Jiva Goswami explains his categories, which we might not go into just now. But we looked at this, last Saturday. These are the vowels. Varna is the word for letters, if you like. It's more about sounds. And akshara is another word. And kshara means that which is broken, and akshara, that which is not broken, or you could say irreducible. You cannot make it something less. You can't divide it. It's undivided. And so we went through all the sounds, the vowels, and the consonants and the semi-vowels. Now, we didn't see this last time, ksha. So in some grammars, although it's actually kind of two sounds put together, for some reason that's considered also a letter in itself, ksha. Okay, he gives some explanations. We won't go too much into all of this. I may have mentioned that any letter, any varna, has a kind of default short after it. So there's going to be ka. Where do we have the? Yeah, so you see that here, ka, ga, ha, na, etc. One thing I didn't mention last time about the organization of the varnas, I did mention, that it starts from in the front, in the ka varna, ka, ga, ga. So these are at the back of the throat, and they go from hard to soft. Now, if we go down, so ka, cha, ta, ta, and pa, then it's moving from the back of the mouth, the throat, toward the middle of the mouth, cha, and more toward the middle of the mouth, ta, although, I don't know, cha and ta, they're kind of similar place. And then ta, this is called dental, which means it's actually pronounced with the ta behind the upper teeth, which is different from English ta, which is a little bit more, it's sort of halfway between these two. Anyway, then it goes to labial, to the lips. The point is, it goes from the back of the throat and moves forward and ends with the front of the mouth, the lips. And then the semi-vowels and the sibilants are a little bit different, and those can be classified in different ways. All right. Yeah, so if you're interested in the Devanagari script, we won't worry about it much, but you can see here, if the short is the default for all the letters, then how do we get, in the case of ka, how do we get a long ka? So we just add this little vertical mark after. If we want a short ke, then there's a vertical mark in front and a little loop above. And if we want long ki, then the added mark on the right and the loop like that. And then we have two indicators, one for short u and one for long u, ku. And then kri and o. I don't know how these are pronounced. Klr, klr, and kri. And then ke, kai, ko, and cow. So you get all the different vowel sounds with any one of the consonants. Now, there are exceptions to how these are formed, and here are a few examples. There's ru and ru and dr and hr. Okay, and then it gives the numbers. And these numbers, I don't know why, they became referred to in the English language as Arabic numbers. Even though they're not Arabic, they are Indian numbers. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0. And the 0, of course, is a discovery, you could say, of Indian mathematicians, which revolutionized mathematics all over the world. Okay, then what else? Yeah, this is kind of organizing this sounds with inclusion of these the vowels in the beginning, not so important. But what I wanted to get to was, he goes into great detail about everything. Okay, this is now getting back to the statement that all of the Varnas come from Narayana. And it's included here. He added that the origin of the phonemes is Krishna's glance. Shishabale Varna Siddha Hoila Kamone. Oh, this is from Lord Chaitanya, right? When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's students asked him to explain about this, the Varnas, he replied, Sarva Varne Siddha Narayana. Narayana is established in each phoneme, and that's in Chaitanya Bhagavata. Sarva Varne Siddho Narayana. He added that the origin of the phonemes is Krishna's glance. Shishabale, so he said to his students, Varna Siddha Hoila Kamone. Oh, excuse me, no, the Shishas spoke. They asked, how did the Varnas Siddha, how did they happen? And the answer, Prabhupada, Krishna Drishti Pater Karane. And they came from the glance, Krishna Drishti. So that's nice. Then he explains a technical, grammatical meaning of pratya. Okay, then we come to sutra number 2. So all of that was explaining sutra number 1. Tatrado Chaturdasha Sarveshvara. The first 14 varnas of the alphabet are called Sarveshvaras. Okay, now I mentioned last time Jiva Goswami has written his Vyakarana specifically for devotees, because he feels very sorry for the devotees to have to suffer through Panini's very dry grammar. And so to give them some Amrita, he wrote Harinam Amrita Vyakarana. So Harinama, the names of Hari, the nectar of the names of Hari, Vyakarana. So the grammar of the grammar with the nectar of the names of Hari. So now he's starting with that program, and he's giving a little, you could say, definition of the what we call in English vowels. He says they are all Sarveshvara. So we know Ishvara means Lord, Sarva means all, Lord of all. And he's going to explain there's a reason why he's giving that name to the 14 vowels. Is that here? Yes. The word Sarveshvara, which means the controller of everything, refers to Sri Krishna, the Lord of both the material and spiritual worlds. The pronunciation of the Anusvara and Visarga is also dependent on the Sarveshvaras. So he's saying all of the other sounds, all of the consonants, and we'll get to what his name is for the consonants in a minute. But all of the consonants depend on one or another of the vowels in order to pronounce them. So the first consonant is ka. So just by saying that, I'm using this vowel a, ka, or ki, or kri, whatever, ku. Therefore, he says, we call it Sarveshvara. They're all lords of everything. Okay, then the third sutra, Dashavatara. The first 10 varnas of the alphabet are called Dashavataras. And so what are these 10 vowels? They're a, I, u, ri, and li. And then he has an explanation for why he names these 10. And he says this has to do with the 10 avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, and so on. Then Sutra 4, Te Sham Dvav Ekatmakau. Among the Das avatars, both varnas of each consecutive pair are called Ekatmakas. So he's just there explaining there's a and there's a, and each of those are ekatmakas. They have the same, basically the same sound. Kind of a technical point. Okay, now something which I mentioned last time. Sutra 5, Purvo Vamana. The first one, the first varna in each pair of ekatmakas is called Vamana. So why is that? It's because Vamana is the dwarf avatar of the Lord. And so the short a and the short I and the short u and the short ri, these are Vamana varnas. And so then Sutra 6, Paras Trivikramaha. The latter varna in each pair of ekatmakas is called Trivikramaha. Trivikrama. Why? Because when Vamana expanded, he became Trivikrama. So he's immediately from the beginning, he's introducing names of Hari, of Vishnu. And then the next one, he's saying the Sarveshvaras, excluding a and a, are called Ishvaras. All of these kind of definitions will have some relevance in his more, when it starts getting quite technical. Dasavatara Isha, the Dasavatars excluding a and a are called Ishas. And then there's a group he calls Anantas, and there's another group he calls Chatusanaha, I and U. And there's a group he calls Chaturbhuja, U and Ri, and so on and so forth. AIOL Chaturvyuha, and so on. Ang iti Vishnu Chakram. Ang is called Vishnu Chakra. Okay. Now I'm looking for one more. Here we go. 15. Is this it? No, there's something further. Aha, iti Vishnu Sargaha. Okay. Some explanation of that. Oh, yeah, this is kind of fun. The word Vishnu Sarga means the abode of Lord Vishnu. Okay. Jiva Goswami comments that the word Trisarga, found in the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, means the three abodes, Gokula, Mathura, and Dwaraka. The Laghu Bhagavatamrita states that Krishna's abode has two divisions because Mathura and Gokula are included within Mathura. Dhamasya dvividham proktam madaram dvarvati tata. Krishna's abode is said to have two divisions, Mathura and Dwaraka. Thus, the two dots in the Vishnu Sarga represent the two abodes, Mathura and Dwaraka. Now you may ask, what is this about two dots? Well, if we look down to Sutra 16, Kadayo Vishnu Janaha, you'll see in the Devanagari at the very end there are two dots. So that two dots is what he's referring to here. The two dots indicate what in transliteration becomes H or Ha with a dot under it. So I think Jiva Goswami is having a bit of fun here. He says, thus the two dots in the Vishnu Sarga represent the two abodes, Mathura and Dwaraka, or else they represent Gokula and Mathura in accordance with the following statement of the Laghu Bhagavatamrita. Then he quotes something. Mathura has two further subdivisions, Gokula and the city Mathura. Okay. All right, one more sutra, Kadayo, Vishnu Janaha. So Ka Adayaha. This means the Varna Ka, etc. Vishnu Janaha. So now he's giving the name. Before it was Sarveshvara, was the vowels. Now Vishnu Janas is the name for all of what we call in English consonants, beginning with ka, ka, ga, ka, cha, 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 ya, na, etc. Why are they called Vishnu Janas? What is a Vishnu Jana? Jana is a person who serves Vishnu. And so all of these consonants act like servants of Vishnu. And he has another reason for calling Vishnu Jana, which we won't go into here. Yeah, the word Jana means an associate. Thus, the word Vishnu Jana means an associate of Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu alone is the controller of everything, Sarveshvara, because he is all-pervading. Just as his creatures, the Vishnu Janas, are dependent on him, the consonants, also known as Vishnu Janas, are dependent on the vowels, the Sarveshvaras. Their purport is that the Vishnu Janas depend on Sarveshvaras for their pronunciation because it is impossible to pronounce a Vishnu Jana without the help of a Sarveshvara. Aren't you glad you know that? Hmm. You don't look very excited about that. Anyway, Hare Krishna. Uh-oh, what just happened? Just disappeared. Oh, there. Maybe that's enough of that. Anyone want to comment on any of that just came to your heads? Everyone is silent. Yes, yes.
So I was wondering, like, the first question is how we should understand that this sound is produced by the glands of Vishnu. Of course, he can produce everything out of his glands.
Yeah.
The universe is big.
Mataji is asking how to understand that these sounds are coming from the glance of Vishnu or Krishna. I would say we have to ask that of Krishna. I mean to say, yeah, as you answer, everything comes from the glance. How is it in the Brahma Samhita? It's the glance of Vishnu which becomes through Shiva, if I remember correctly, Sadashiva, who then connects with Maya, isn't it? It's been a long time since I read all of that. It's a little technical, but it starts with Vishnu's or Narayana's glance and then becomes. And that's interesting because I believe the Shaivites would claim that no, all of the sounds originate with Shiva. And so the Vaishnavas are saying, no, behind Shiva, there's the glance of Krishna. But perhaps the problem is we think of glance, we think of how a physical glance would be of a physical body when we understand that all of the senses of the Lord are interchangeable. Yeah, how does the verse go? That Pashanti Pante Kalayanti Chirang Jaganti. There's a kind of interchangeability to the Lord's senses. But that's as much as I can say on that. Yes, Alakananda.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes, just barely.
Is it okay?
That's better.
Yeah, first of all, thank you for this short lecture in Sanskrit. And then I was thinking in some other lectures or presentations when the Sanskrit was discussed, I heard about Akshara. Actually, besides how you explained from also from the book, Another meaning is that one can't pronounce this vowel for eternity. It's akshara. There is no end.
Yeah.
We can prolong it as long as we want. It doesn't have to stop.
Oh, okay.
They're only stopped with the consonants. And also regarding consonants, if we think really in practical life, we cannot pronounce any consonant without. So it's really like what Jiva Goswami is saying, they're dependent, but it's also from our personal experience.
Yeah.
We can just without there is no k also.
Yeah. And then we're just choking.
Yeah, it's just it's joking. And another point also about kaka, the term was ekatmaka or ekatma.
Yes, but that's referring only to the two. It's not to the consonants unaspirated and aspirated, ka and ka, but it's referring to the short and long.
Yeah, Vamana and Trivikrama. But
Yeah,
there, my point was how beautiful Sanskrit is actually, that one can also have some spiritual realization, let's say, or some insights, because it's a katma. So it's same atma, but there is also difference in them. That they're same
yeah,
atma, same
yeah,
like Vamana and Trivikrama. They're same.
right. Yeah,
They're different in the same time. So it's also
yeah,
how to say, like preaching some philosophy behind that. It's some
yeah. The philosophy is interwoven, and I think that's precisely what Jiva Goswami wants to say, that one can learn philosophy through grammar.
yeah.
Yeah. Neshela, your hand is up. Oh, we don't hear you yet. We still don't hear you.
Nenshala pokušají u English channel, ili u English.
Okay.
Aha. Can you hear?
Yes, can you hear me now?
Nope.
Guru Maharaj, please, and everyone else, please go to English channel. In the interpretation, yeah, English.
Okay. All right. Now let's try it.
Hare Krishna.
There we go.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees and Guru Maharaj. Please accept my humble obeisances. Thank you very much. It was a little bit heavy for me to translate, but
sorry for that.
no, it's okay. It was actually very interesting. In general, like it really, I mean, for myself, it woke some new Krishna consciousness to see Krishna more in every word while reading and while hearing, actually. And I'm wondering about other languages, since Krishna is source of all languages. Can we, I mean, for Sanskrit is something more, maybe more, there is some more concrete information, but what about other languages also, like English, Bosnian, Polish, Russian? Is it also somehow connected? I mean, I don't know if the question is good, but it's like,
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we can relate also to languages.
Yeah, I think so. As I remember, it's Srila Ramanujacharya who makes the point that every word of any language can refer to the Lord, can be describing some quality of the Lord, because the Lord has unlimited auspicious qualities. He likes, it's a phrase, something like that, unlimited, wonderful, auspicious qualities. And so language is such that every word can refer to the Lord and qualities of the Lord. I yeah, I'm just putting that in the simplest form, but he elaborates on that quite extensively, as I remember.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
but how that works, you know. Of course, we have in the Brahma Samhita those two verses at the end, Shriya Kanta Kanta Paramapurusha Kalpatarako. Juma Bhumis Chintamani Ganamayi Toyam Amritam Kata Ganam Natyam. So every word is a song.
Wow.
And that's something for rappers to remember.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I asked. I because I also like words, and now because you were mentioning this, it was really interesting. Thank you.
Good. Hare Krishna. All right.
Good morning. Good morning.
Krishna.
Can I say something?
All right.
I'm sorry, I don't have on my eye. Oh, Krish, I can wait. I just don't have on my iPad.
No,
the
Mataji, please go
sound
ahead.
to put hand up. So I can wait after Krish. I can wait.
No, Mataji, please go ahead.
It's your turn, dear Lalita.
Yes, please.
Oh, I'm sorry for wasting time. Well, I just wanted to say a little reflection of what you were saying, Guru Maharaj. I was just thinking about the Srila Jiva Goswami as a Vaishnava scholar, that he probably couldn't bear to be without the Lord at all. So even though he was writing a grammar on Sanskrit, with his deep knowledge, he used Krishna's knowledge in explaining all the vowels and consonants.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, it's much more than that. He has an extensive use of names and words related to the Lord. And he says in his intro, I think there's a kind of introduction where he explains he's doing this for the devotees so that they don't have to suffer through. He doesn't name Panini, but he can be the only one he's referring to, Panini, and his commentators. So yeah.
He wanted devotees to remember Krishna through studying the grammar. And also, I wanted to add just one more thing that I've liked very much: the his explanation of vowels being sarveshwaras, and the consonants being Vishnu Janas, which is Vishnu Janas is a person who serve Krishna, but and sarveshwaras is the Lord of everything, controller of everything. So so actually consonants do depend on vowels, and servants do depend on Lord.
Yes, exactly Jiva Goswami's point.
Thank you so much for giving me a little spot to say this.
Okay, Krish, Bhakta Krish.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Hi, Krishna Maharaj, please accept my humble obeisance. I wanted to ask, the Hindi grammar or the words of Hindi, like the ABCD of Hindi, has the same thing to do with Sanskrit. Like I remember in India where we learned the basics of Hindi, it's like ka, kha, ga, gha, and everything. And the Sanskrit people say they have a little bit of difference. So is it like if you know Hindi, then it's like easier for you to learn Sanskrit, or Is it like another whole new language that we need to learn with new rules and everything?
Well, we're talking about, in a sense, two different things. One is the writing script, and the other is the language. So it has become a kind of tradition, and from what I've read, a rather recent tradition, that it became standard for Sanskrit to be written in what we call Nagari script or Devanagari script. In earlier times, it was more standard or more typical that if you were a Bengali Pandit, such as the six Goswamis were from Bengal, they wrote the Sanskrit language, but they wrote in Bengali script.
Mhm.
If you were from, say, Karnataka, you would be a Pandit, you would write Sanskrit in, what is it, Kannada script,
Okay.
and so on. So Hindi is practically the same in almost all respects with the Devanagari. Hindi script is practically the same as it is Devanagari script. They just add, they add a couple of dots under a couple of letters to get the Hindi sound so that you can say, what is the word? Zamin or something.
Yeah.
Then instead of ja, you put a ja with a dot under it, and it becomes za, which is not a sound in Sanskrit. And there's also the p, pa with a dot, or pa. Anyway, to get the fa sound.
Yeah.
So they do that in, I don't know, 3, maybe more cases. They do something like that. But otherwise, to your question, of course, it'll be very easy for you to read the script if you are a reader of Hindi. You can read Devanagari script of Sanskrit. But the language, yes, you will know probably a good number of words of Sanskrit if you're speaking Sanskritic Hindi. But Hindi is a whole mix of, there's Urdu and who knows what else.
Yeah.
And the grammar of Hindi is much simpler than the grammar. There's less inflection than there is in Sanskrit. And also, you don't have this what's called sandhi, where you sort of, in Sanskrit, you kind of merge words together, and then you have compounds. It can get rather complicated. You don't have that in Hindi, although in very Sanskritic Hindi, then you'll come to some of that. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes, thank you very much. And I have a question which is like a little bit out of topic, but I still want to
Okay.
ask you. But normally what happens, like Krishna, we offer milk to Krishna and we buy it normally from the supermarket or from the store which is nearby us. So does Krishna really want milk offered from the store and supermarket, and is it sinful to offer milk to Krishna
You're getting
this way?
now you're getting into a hot topic.
Yeah. So I just wanted a bit of clear thought about it. So I thought you could be the best person who could say something about
Yeah, but maybe we should talk about that another time,
it. Okay.
because that's kind of a bigger topic.
Yeah.
But it's nice that you're thinking about it.
Actually, it was a thought from a friend of mine, and he asked, like,
Yeah.
I told that the best person would be if Krishna Kshetra Swami, and then I told her that I can ask him.
Okay. Well, remind me. We'll talk
Yes,
about that.
yes.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye, Krishna.
Jai. Marisha Sudevi,
Hare
du hast
Krishna,
eine
Gumat. Ja,
Frage.
ja. Ich hoffe, ich kriege das gut in Englisch hin. Ich bemühe mich mal. Krish, du musst mich unterstützen und danke. Thank you, Krish, for your question. It's a hot topic. So, okay, but I'm having really complete another point. Today we had Bhakti Shastri, and there was oh God, the point was that Mahavishnu is breathing out the jivas, the souls. And once we heard that the jiva has the possibility to decide to go to Krishna or to go in the material world. But today it was corrected that it is when Mahavishnu is breathing out the souls, that Krishna, was heißt festgelegt oder bestimmt, ist es determinated? Oder?
He's already, it's a settled, yeah, it's determined.
Yes, genau. That we are a sada, eine Nitya Siddha or bedingte Seele. Ich komme jetzt gerade nicht auf den Sanskrit.
Conditioned soul, yeah.
Condition Soul. Wir hatten was anderes. Wir hatten noch Kripa Siddha und dann noch, und das fällt mir jetzt gerade nicht ein. Okay. Also my question is, what about our free will? Or how is it, what is the right point when Krishna is determinated where we have to go? Nitya Siddha or bedingte Seele? Ewig bedingte Seele. And what's about our, you know what, you understand my point?
I think so, yeah. This is kind of one version of a question that gets devotees tied up in knots.
Ah. Entschuldigung, du musst jetzt gut zuhören, Krish, weil du musst mir das nachher, wenn ich es nicht alles verstanden habe, nochmal erklären.
Genau,
Also,
ja, mache ich.
konzentrier dich gut.
Mache ich.
Okay, what shall I say about this without getting lost? Let's just keep it in a general sense of free will versus destiny, kind of a general abstract sense. And I would say like this, that Srila Prabhupada is quite consistent in his writing and speaking that we have a choice. We have a choice, and we can make this choice to be where we are or to be with Krishna. Here comes the Adan. We're getting awakened to the time of prayer.
Das Time of
Allah.
prayer. Sorry. Was heißt das? Time of prayer?
Yes, here in Mayapur, we get 5 times a day.
Ach so, okay.
And we don't get it just from one mosque where I'm staying. We get it from about 5 mosques. At least they're all at the same time, pretty much. And they're usually finished within about 4 or 5 minutes. They all have different styles. Sometimes the styles change a little bit. Yeah, they start out Allahu Akbar. Allah is great. So we can agree with that. Why not? but they have a special way of singing that. Okay, so we always have a choice. And we may say, yeah, but I don't feel like I had a choice. Here I am. I don't remember making that choice. And I think the sort of the answer to that we can sort of grasp is that whatever we remember or don't remember from the past, we now have a choice. And this is a kind of eternal now. And then we get so many different sorts of explanations about material world, spiritual world, being in one or being in the other, Vishnu, breathing out, and so on. But at the core, there is something rather mysterious. And one way the mystery is explained is by saying that our very nature is to be marginal.
Mhm.
Tatasta, literally standing on the edge, standing on the border. And that's explaining our very constitutional identity, which means we're always in a position that we need to make a choice. And so there's not a whole lot of value in saying, well, it's my destiny, as if I lost the choice. It's more meaningful, I would say, to just recognize that at every moment we have a choice. And we can make a good choice because we have the power to make that choice. And we can become, you could say, we can practice being more habitually making a good choice. And by that practice, that's what we're doing. It's called sadhana. We're practicing making the good choice, the positive choice, the choice to be connected with the antaranga shakti instead of the bahiranga shakti of the Lord. So that, I don't know, maybe that's just avoiding your question, but that's how I think about it right now.
Thank you so much. Mhm.
Does that help?
Ja, das entspricht dem, was ich auch darüber denke. Also so wie ich es jetzt
Okay,
verstanden habe.
gut, super.
Und ja, es war ein bisschen verwirrend, weil es ging dann um die ewig bedingte Seele und plötzlich können wir aber doch befreit werden. Aber wir hatten es dann auch schon ganz gut aufgelöst. Ja.
Yeah, we may be eternally conditioned up till right now.
Genau, bis zu der Entscheidung, die wir dann treffen für Krishna, sozusagen.
Yeah,
Ja.
yeah. No more excuses.
Danke.
Keine Ausreden mehr. Okay. Hare Krishna. Gaur Premanande. Now, couple of things. Let's see before I forget. Oh, yes, we had a question from Anandamayi, an, an email about Lakshmi conscious. And I have to say, I didn't get around to check again, but years ago, I researched about this. And what I found was there's a certain kind of conch, which technically is pronounced kunk, but nobody pronounces it that way. It's spelled like conch. There's an extremely rare conch called a lightning whelk. And that is the real Lakshmi conch. And if you have one, and if you're short of cash, you can go with your Lakshmi conch to the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C., and offer it to them. And they may give you a very nice price for it. At the time I was researching, and this is probably 20 years ago, they said it's worth $250,000. So I don't know if you have one of those. If you do, be careful it doesn't get stolen. But otherwise, I think all these, left turning, right turning, but they're nothing so rare as the proper Lakshmi Kanch, as I've been told. Okay. And I like to share books about books, show and tell. This is a book I just received today. Bhakti in Vaishnava Traditions, edited by Shakuntala Gaude and Ferdinando Sardella. Ferdinando Sardella is better known amongst devotees as Pranava Prabhu in Sweden. And Shakuntala Gaude, I don't know her personally. I've spoken with her on Zoom. It's a collection of articles, and I just couldn't resist to mention this book because it has one of my articles in it, which is an article called Reform in Bhakti Tradition, Bhaktivinoda's Apologetic for the Bhagavata Purana. Now, this is an article that I wrote decades ago, and it's already been published in ISKCON Communications Journal. But they gave permission, or did they give permission? I don't remember. If they didn't, too bad, for reprinting. So anyway, it's just a collection of interesting scholarly articles. Part 1 is called Bhagavata Purana and the Bhagavad Gita. Part 2 is Bhakti in Vedanta. And part 3, regional traditions. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, there's one article by Sridhar Iyer VB called Vishnu Bhakti of Jagat Guru Bhagavad Pada Sri Shankaracharya. Huh. I haven't read it, but I guess he's arguing that he was showing Vishnu Bhakti in his writings.
Guru Maharaj?
Yes.
Hare Krishna, your background is blurred, so we couldn't see the book. If you can unblur the background and show again, yeah. it lost in the, it get lost, yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Unblur. Okay, here we go. That's the book. And
Thank
this
you very
was
much.
This was published by Dave Publishers in Delhi. And these books are, affordable, unlike books in the West. Okay. Now, we have a few minutes for Nectar of Devotion. Yeah. Let's see, that should go down. There it is. Okay. And we go back there. And we go here. Here. And there. There we go. We are still in chapter 8 of Nectar of Devotion, and we've gone through 32 Archa Vigraha aparadas, temple worship aparadas, and now is going to come another, I think it's another 32 from the Varaha Purana. Whether these are all mentioned in Bhaktirasamrita Sindhu, I don't know, or if it's in the commentary. But we can go through these kind of quickly. We started, one should not touch the deity in a dark room. So good idea to have some lights. If nothing else, a candle. One should not fail to strictly follow the rules and regulations in worshiping the deity. So then first one has to know what the rules are. And I would add to that, one should also keep in mind Rupa Goswami's point, atyahara prayascha prajalpa niyamagraha. As I've explained before, niyama agraha is being neglectful of niyama, of regulations, and niyama agraha is being too fanatical. There's some sort of middle ground. And how to know the middle ground is, well, it's a matter of practice, of season, of sometimes using common sense and sometimes using uncommon sense. Rupa Goswami speaks of principles and details, and so it's good to have a sense of what is a principle and what's a detail. Details can be changed. That's a bigger topic, but I think it's something to keep in mind. One should not enter the temple of the deity without first making some sound, like ringing a bell or clapping the hands. And the story which I referred to in my book, which I was told in the Radharaman temple, is that sometime, maybe 100 years ago or so, one of the pujaris in a rush opened in the early morning the deity room door without making any sound. And what happened? He burst into the Lord's abode, and in this way he kind of interrupted the Lord. And what was the result? The result was that he died on the spot, which could be a good thing, back home, back to Godhead in front of Radharaman. But as we say in English, don't try this at home. Okay, one should not offer any foodstuff to the deity which has been seen by dogs or other lower animals. Now I know what you're going to ask. What if a mosquito sees it? I mean, how far do we go with this? Well, that's where I leave it to your intelligence. 5, one should not break silence while worshiping. What does that mean? Well, yeah, it means worship should be done in a meditative way, in a focused way. I just now noticed, unfortunately, this photo doesn't show the full body of Krishna, but I'm quite sure that this is Radha Paraseshwara. And this is Srila Prabhupada offering the first arati after the installation. And I was fortunate to be present witnessing this 1975. Yeah. Okay. Well, 6, one should not pass urine or evacuate while engaged in worshiping. Okay. Kind of makes sense. We want to be, actually, the principle here is that the devotee is, I never learned the Sanskrit, but there's a very famous Sanskrit phrase that the devotee makes him or herself on the same level as the deity, on the same level of purity. So there's a kind of non-difference there. That's the whole point of all the various practices of purification, which are several. Purification of the place, purification of the ingredients, so sthana, shuddhi, dravya shuddhi, atma shuddhi, first of all, and mantra shuddhi, and what else is there? Murti shuddhi? Murti shuddhi, yeah. Chi? Oh, chitta. Chitta shuddhi, yes, of course. Yes, chitta shuddhi. Okay, then 7, one should not offer incense without offering some flower. I am totally implicated by this. I'm always offering incense here without offering a flower. That explains all of my troubles. Useless flowers without any fragrance should not be offered. Uh-oh. That puts all of us in Europe in trouble.
Some fragrance.
Fragrance. Yeah, I think it's okay. One should not fail to wash his teeth very carefully every day. That's kind of obvious, no? 10, one should not enter the temple directly after sexual intercourse. Yeah, makes sense. 11, one should not touch a woman during her menstrual period. Okay. Not something I would plan to do. 12, one should not enter the temple after touching a dead body. Yeah. This guy doesn't look so dead in the photo. Okay. 13, one should not enter the temple wearing garments of red or blue color or garments which are unwashed. I like this photo. This guy, this little guy looks a little bit unwashed. but he looks like he's enjoying it. Yeah, one gets asked, well, what's wrong with red or blue color? Some have said because they would distract from the attraction of the Lord himself. Some have said, well, blue is Radharani's color. I don't know about red, maybe red also. A lot of such regulations, you kind of have to just nod and say, okay. But in the Radharaman temple, when they have Janmashtami Abhishek, and I think other festivals, the pujaris, priests, they dress in very bright colors, all different colors, including red and blue. They don't seem to be bothered about this particular regulation. One should not enter the temple after seeing a dead body. Okay. Now she looks more dead than the previous one. But she has her glasses on, or what? No. It looks like the lady. Okay, this is getting a little strange. Oh, here we go. This one we had before. One should not pass air within the temple. Okay. One should not be angry within the temple. Okay. Yeah, one should not be angry in a lot of circumstances where one might be angry. If one thinks about it, the Lord is everywhere. Then we want to be careful with all that we do everywhere, isn't it? Here we go, some more. One should not enter the temple after visiting a crematorium. Okay. 18, one should not belch before the deity. And Prabhupada, I think this is in Nectar Devotion, he says, until one has fully digested his food, he should not enter the temple. Okay. Fully digested it. Okay. 19, one should not smoke. Oh, no. One should not smoke marijuana or ganja. And 20, one should not take opium or similar intoxicants. Gosh, I didn't know that. All these years I've been smoking. No, just kidding. 20. Whoops, what happened? Oh, that was 19 and 20. Okay, 21. One should not enter the deity room or touch the body of the deity after having smeared oil over his body. Okay. 22, one should not show disrespect to a scripture teaching about the supremacy of the Lord. Okay. And 23, one should not introduce any opposing scripture unfavorable to bhakti. That's an interesting image. A wolf in sheep's clothing. 24, one should not chew betel before the deity. Oh, so that means we can chew betel anywhere else? Lord Krishna chews betel, but we are not Krishna. 25, one should not offer a flower which was kept in an unclean pot. Okay. And 26, one should not worship the Lord while sitting on the bare floor. One must have a sitting place or carpet. Okay. I don't know if it's, I don't know how standard it is. It's become, at least in ISKCON, a kind of standard that also when you're standing doing arti, you have to be on some some asana. But I don't know if that's really required. 27, one should not touch the deity before one is completed taking bath. Okay, this fellow is shaving his head. Good for him, but he's not shaving his beard. 28, one should not decorate his forehead with a three-lined tilak. Okay. Shaivites are disqualified. If you go to Kumbh Mela, which I did once or twice, you see people with all kinds of tilak. And one that I saw was a combination of Urdhva Pundra tilak, and on either side of it was three lines. So this person had Shaiva and Vaishnav tilak. I guess he was figuring, well, if I don't get it right with one, I'll get it with the other. 29, one should not enter the temple without washing his hands and feet. Yeah, that's the standard. And in our temple in Singachala, we have a little basin for the pujaris for washing the feet before entering. Which doesn't give a number for this. One should not worship the deity before a non-devotee. And one should not engage himself in worship of the Lord while seeing a non-devotee. Some of these rules can be a little difficult to imagine how exactly they need to be followed. One should begin the worship of the demigod Ganapati, who drives away all impediments in the execution of devotional service. So then Prabhupada explains, in the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that Ganapati worships the lotus feet of Lord Nrsingadeva, and in that way has become auspicious for the devotees in clearing out all impediments. Therefore, all devotees should worship Ganapati. Wow. Now, when someone asked Srila Prabhupada, so should we do that? Prabhupada's answer was, yes, you can worship Ganapati, but only if you give me, what was it, $100,000 a month or something? Yeah. Here's the explanation. Here it is. Oh, it's right here. This is from a letter. Okay, we'll stop with this. I do not encourage you to worship this demigod Ganesha. It is not required. It is not necessary. Simply worship Krishna. Perform nice devotional service to Krishna. Then your lives will certainly become perfect. Of course, if one has got some sentiment for achieving the blessings of Ganesha or accumulating large sums of money to serve Krishna, then he may perform this Ganesha worship privately, not making a public show. But first of all, he must give me $100,000 per month. Not a single farthing less. A farthing is an old-fashioned, very small coin in English system. If he can supply this amount, $100,000 per month, then he will be allowed to do this Ganesha puja. Otherwise, he shall not do it. It will not be good. That is my order. Wow. This was a letter of December 28th, 1974. Okay. On that note, we can end there. And I will simply say, can we meet next week? Tomorrow is Advaita Acharya's appearance day. I should have spoken something about it. Advaita Acharya ki jai. Next week, yes, I believe next week should be no problem. We can have a meeting. This coming Wednesday, I'm going to Kolkata. Good. I think we're all good with everything. So all I will say now is wishing you a wonderful week coming up, and thank you all for joining us. Special thanks to our translators, Tirtharaj, and who else has been translating?
Neshela,
Gopi
Krishna,
Hare Krishna.
Gopi Krishna,
Gopi Krishna, Jai.
and Anantarama, Prabhu,
Anantarama,
and
special
Tirtharaj.
thanks. And Tirtharaj, yes. Thank you all. And thank you all for joining. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Sampurna ki
Krishna, dear Guru
Jai.
Maharaj, thank you very much.
Safe and keep saying
Hare Krishna,
Hare
thank
Krishna.
you.
Hare Krishna.
Anantarama.
Anantarama.
Hare